about learning Chinese pronunciation, huh? Because we know it's not easy. And my name's Kwadwo. If you don't remember who I am, or if you're new to this channel, I teach you the everyday Chinese you need to get what you want. And Tuesdays we go live at 9 a.m. China time, and we discuss learning Chinese. Say hi to my yoga mat back there. So I have an article in front of me by Hacking Chinese. The link is down there in the description. Take a peek at these. The link is down there in the description. Take a peek at this article, and you can even swing over to there if you want, but it's about learning Chinese pronunciation as a beginner. And on Instagram, I do Chinese tone practice in my stories. It is good. Leave a comment right now if you can hear me, because we're live. If you're watching on the replay, say hi, and thanks for watching on the replay. I'm here every Tuesday at 9 a.m. So head over to Hacking Chinese in the link and read this article with me. We're just gonna have a talk, start leaving comments, like this video if it's informative for you. So on my stories, I asked the question, is the best thing I can do for you as far as making a YouTube tone series? And you know what some responses were that I got? These are pretty good, but I think they're indicative of where we're at in tones. So common mistakes people make while learning Mandarin. One person said they want to know how many years it learn Mandarin. Another said how to know what tone it is. It sounds the same. You can as well. Good to see you. The difference in the pronunciations of tones and other grammatical rules. One person says, my tones are so bad, but I can't. You guys just see I'm not making this up. We're reading right here. Let's keep talking about tones during these live Tuesdays. So the first thing, Olalinga says, who is a Swedish gentleman, author at Hacking Chinese. The link is in the descriptions if you're just joining, but we are reading and discussing this article today. He talks tone, and he says that good pronunciation is very important, and I could not agree more. That's his first point. Oh, I have to agree with that. Absolutely. It is a mistake if you start in the beginning and feel like you can learn Chinese without practicing the tones outright and focusing on them hardcore right away, as quick as you can, get that pronunciation down. But he also says that you can't just learn by repeating tones, that you have to find a Chinese person to practice with, and you need to have a way of studying. You can't just expect to repeat pronunciation from a Chinese person and get it right the first time. Very few of us can do that. I'm really good at language. I couldn't do that in the beginning. Some of you guys know my story, but I studied here in Beijing for 2 years. Full-time, well, part-time, 20 hours a week. And the way I got good really quick, the way I got a good accent, because Chinese people tell me, like, often they can't tell the difference between me and another Chinese person on the phone, is I got the audio from my textbook. And I read along with that audio, and I read out loud many times. I put in work to practice saying sentences from memory and at the speed of the audio with the text. So good pronunciation is important. He says, but mastering pronunciation takes blood, sweat, and tears. If you're agreeing, type yes, good study in the I can see that. Is that, we're live streaming, so if you see some interruptions, welcome to China. VPN still a little difficult to live stream, so I might have to hop off and hop back on, but hang in there here. So you'll have a teacher if you're in your home country, but it's best that you find someone else to practice with too, learning outside. Live stream is lagging. Which VPNs? Sorry it's lagging, but sorry the live stream is lagging. Thank you guys for hanging out, but we are having difficulties here in China being taught pronunciation. Most teachers don't want to teach perfect pronunciation, is what Olalinga is saying. He's researched this. He's a writer of Hacking Chinese. He holds his master's in teaching English and teaching Chinese. He knows what he's talking about. Many of you are here in China, you can find a Chinese friend to practice studying Chinese pronunciation with, but you have to be very direct with them and tell them that they need to correct you. Because Chinese friends are 不好意思, and that means embarrassed. They don't want to make a fuss, to make trouble. They don't want to make you lose bad. They don't want to lose face themselves or have you lose face. So they might not correct you when you're wrong. You need to tell them, insist, time and again, for them to correct you. What else did Olalinga say that... good. Practicing, and I fully support this. When you practice, find like tone pair drills on sinosplice.com. Practice there. You can practice with me. Oh, I already have one online course up and I'm making the second one. It's all tone practice where I'll be going through tones and common words like you see in my Instagram stories, but then uploading more and more audio for you to read nice and slowly out loud with me the way I read with books so you can practice. Practice with some reputable source, okay? Don't just use an app, especially if it sounds robotic. Don't use an app. Get good audio practice and record yourself. Then play back your recording from your cell phone, right? Along with whatever you're practicing with and see how that helps you, okay? You have to compare, you have to adjust because, hey, scientifically, do you know that nobody else hears you like you hear you? Like, because I hear me, and what I really hear is my voice plus the resonation of my skull. And nobody else can hear that skull resonation. So you sound different to me than you do in your head, which is why you need to hear yourself on audio, recorded back, and play that. Yeah. Ooh, he has a game on here to master the tones? I didn't go to this game, but he says he strongly suggests it. Let's see what this game is. Click here. Will it load? It's a game. Smart method to... Oh, this guy has so many resources. You go there yourself, okay? We'll just keep talking about the points that I highlighted. Let me open up, if you will, my YouTube channel, elementarychinese.com. or Elementary Chinese on YouTube so I can see your comments and we can chit chat. If you don't subscribe to this channel yet, subscribe because I got lots good coming along. We're doing 3 videos a week. That means 3 live streams or 2 live streams a week, 1 live stream a week and 2 videos or 1 video and 2 live streams, whatever I can to bring the value for you. I'm busy, but I'll make sure to do what I can so I can help you out. After this live stream is finished, leave a comment, okay? And I will answer the comments. I look at comments, and so far I answer everyone. If you're on your cell phone, you gotta go way down below all the recommended videos and you'll see comments way down there. So, live streams lagging. Thanks, Glow, for telling me that. Adiel Fernandez Garcia. Can you write in here the website to practice? The website is Hacking Chinese. Oh, the website to practice speaking. Sure, that's sinosplice.com. And they have something on there. Just put it in. Thanks for asking that, Adiel. They have something called tone pair drills. Go download that. It's free. And of course, you got Elementary Chinese on Instagram. That's where all the content for China is. Let's get back to the good stuff, huh? You can cheat by speaking quickly. Allah says that in his website, and it's pretty accurate. And even just yesterday in one of my WeChat groups, someone said that they got the tones. They're not super good, but they just speak really quickly and they're understood. And it's true. You can speak quick. So when you're here in China and you're practicing, speak quick, cheat if you will. Don't go really slow. Don't go really slow. Another thing is he talks a few words about the 3rd tone. If you are not here yet in China, just know that most of the books are wrong. They don't teach the 3rd tone right. It's not this V, okay? You don't have to drop your voice and then rise back up. I teach it, and Alalinga says it. That's not right. He talks about it a slightly different way from me. I teach it simple. Chinese people speak quick. If you ever want to speak as quick as they do, you gotta just drop your voice low for third tone until it's like the bass voice. Here's the mic. Bass voice, right? Hello, Joan. How's it going? Thanks for joining live. And make it very short. And that's the third tone. Ba, right? Easy. Luo is the third tone. Okay? Suo is the third tone. It's the word for lock. All right? Remember that third tones and fourth tones are super short. Super short. First tone is like medium length. Second tone is really long and rising compared to the other tones. So another issue that I had when I was helping people practice tones in my WeChat group was they wanted to go luo on a second tone and make it rise up, but there was like a waver in there. Luo or luo. Any waver in your voice will make a Chinese person think, oh, third tone. Because Chinese thinks that's third tone, right? So your second tones are smooth and rising. Your first tone is an even pitch. La, right? But if you say me, okay, me, it's even, right? It doesn't change, it's flat. It could be high, me, or me, or me. The trick is it's flat, it's even, it doesn't change. That's a first tone. Second tone would be do, like study books, do, shu, do. It's rising, it's even, shu. Shu. Third tone, shu. It's creaky, shu. Shu. Biao is shu biao. Not to be confused with shou biao. So I'm gonna do plenty of tone practice, and if you already got my free guide, 8 Effective Ways to Learn Chinese, then you have my email address. If you don't have it, go to elementarychinese.com/8ways. Okay, and get that free guide because I put like 8 of my really good tips in there. That will add you to my newsletter where I'm sending out good info. There is where you'll know first when I get that tones course up. Let me answer some questions here. How's it going? Oh, you guys are in the chat. Cool, what's up? So Priscilla, my weekend wanderlust. Why don't I just swing you guys over here so you can actually see me looking at you? Hey, there's my clothes dryer. China life. How would you say hand? Third tone, struggling with it. My Chinese friend keeps telling me it's wrong. So drop your voice really low, Priscilla, or as low as you can for you, and hit that bass note and say show. That's it. Really, really short. Show. Show. That's hand. Show. Okay? Don't go show, and don't say show, but show. That's hand. Show. All right? So, your fingers are shou, zhi is like a digit, and shou is hand. So, shou, zhi. When you have 2 third tones back to back, I'm about to sneeze, but that first third tone changes to a second tone, okay? So, shou is hand. Shou. It's very short and it's very deep. But as soon as I add another third tone to it, shou, like shou changes to second tone, shou. So zhi is a third tone, shou zhi, right? Shou zhi. I got 4 shou zhis, 5 actually in Chinese. They're all fingers, I guess. It's a matter of philosophy. You guys want to philosophize? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? What else did Ola say in this article? If you're just joining, the link is in the descriptions. We are chatting and discussing together about, man, this guy, he writes great articles over on Hacking Chinese. His final remarks were that learning Mandarin requires conscious effort and diligent studying. You are at the beginning of a long journey. It might be possible to reach your goal simply by immersing yourself in a Chinese-speaking environment, but that's definitely not the most effective way. I would doubt anyone can do it. Okay, let's stop. Come on now. Let's be positive. If you're not in China, how do you make a Chinese immersion environment? Well, I made another video. I can't link it up. I'll link it up right there on the replay. So head up there or head up there, replay wherever you're at, and click for the other video. But it's 3 ways, 3 things that you're gonna combine to learn Chinese. It's the trailer on my YouTube page, okay? Number 1, you need a book. Number 2, you need an app or an online resource. Make sure that you love the app or online resource. It needs to be super interesting so your motivation will stay high while you're kind of, pushing through the book, which can be a little monotonous. In the links and descriptions down below, or way down below if you're on your cell phone, there's tons of books, like 7 that I've reviewed. I put them links to Amazon so you can see about those. And don't just look at my reviews. If you go to Amazon, you can scroll down and see what other people who bought the book said about it. But you need an app or online resource that's super interesting. You need the book, and you need someone to practice with in real life. Maybe that's on WeChat. Maybe that's at your local university or community college. If you're in the US of A, find a Chinese person for real life so they can give you that feedback. Remember, they're not going to want to criticize you or make you feel bad or lose face. So you have to be softly insistent, all right? But those are the 3 things. And the key word here is reinforcement, right? If the textbook is at your level, you'll see vocabulary words that you'll also see in the app, because the app is at your level, right? These apps like Duolingo and Chinese Skill, they give you a little placement test in the beginning, and then they feed you information that's at your level. So the book reinforces the app, which also be reinforced with the person in real life. Let's see what other questions you guys got for me. Oh, look at that, I unmuted my computer. Sorry, my desk is a bit messy. All right. Alex, also known as Glow. What's up? Hey, thanks for watching again. I have it, but I can't seem to figure out the type, if that makes sense. I'll type and it'll cut off and put a character. Oh, what's up? I added the Chinese keyboard settings on my phone. Oh, you guys are with me on WeChat? I can show you how to type on your phone really quick. Do you need that? Let me see what else you guys got here. And thanks for liking the video. Keep liking if this is good for you. I super appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, if you are on an Android phone, I use an iPhone, so sorry that I can't help you, but if you're on an Android phone, I think there's a Google, I saw it somewhere in my WeChat group, there's a Google, somebody said it's a Google keyboard. Let me look at my favorites and see if I saved it. I did not, so sad. It's a Google keyboard, and you gotta add it. If you're on an iPhone, adding the Chinese keyboard is super simple. Why don't I just show you on my phone really quick. You're gonna go up here and slide up to, if you're on an iPhone, to general, and then you're gonna slide up all the way to keyboard, boom, keyboard, and then you're gonna go to keyboards, and you want to add the Chinese simplified pinyin keyboard, okay? That's the keyboard you must have on Apple, just the QWERTY, or if you're in another country that uses those. Tin key, I don't really like, but yeah, okay. Then you pop open an app like WeChat. Let's go into one of my paid WeChat groups and press that globe. Haha, I'm trying to learn Spanish because I'm going to Mexico to study for like 6 weeks. It's going to be cool. Simplified pinyin, boom. Now I'm here. It is predictive. That means if I type how much money, dual, it's weird typing on shao. Pinyin, right? But it finishes it for me, qian, then I tap it up there, dual shao qian, easy. Also, if you want to know how I get those pinyin tones when I'm helping you in the group or typing on Instagram, you simply have to long press a vowel, and then you get tones up there, and you let go. So dual, and then you have to hit enter, okay? Right, to select it. Shao, S-H-A, long press that O to get that, right? So if you long press anything like an A, then you can have different tones. That's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, as they would say. Typing, tones. What else can I help you with? Do I think, Eddie, thanks for asking a question, Eddie. Do I think in Chinese or do I have to translate? Oh, good question. Good question. If I'm lazy, I think in English. But I do think in Chinese when I'm talking to Chinese people. In the beginning, I only thought in English and I had to translate in my head. And that is highly inefficient, but do not beat yourself up because, Joan, I forgot your question. I'm going back up to your question. Thanks for reminding me. It's hard, but I'll do it for you. I'll go back up. So in the beginning, yeah, it's really hard to think in a language. You can force yourself to do it, but it's just draining. As you get more words, and it makes sense, right? And phrases in your head that are internalized, not just that you know, or that you tricked yourself, or that you passed on a test, but internalized in your head, in your heart, right? In ESL, English as a second language instruction, which is what I do professionally, or what I did professionally, now I do this professionally. It takes 7 to 23 exposures to a word to learn that word, to internalize that word. Once you've internalized enough words and phrases, you can think in Chinese. When I speak to my daughter, when I speak to Chinese people, it's in Chinese. Yeah, I think in Chinese. It's better that way. But you have to work to get there. You have to work to get there. So hang in there, all right, Eddie, Seals, Joan or John, Clayton, sorry. How to not forget the characters. I always forget them. I mean, okay, Chinese is hard, but it's nothing special. And what I mean by that is there's no shortcut. When you're learning the characters, sorry, I'm trying to like remove this random comment. There we go, deleted. Oh, I love deleting random comments. You want to leave a random comment? I'll delete you too. You want to hate on Instagram? I'll block you. Anyway, characters, here, use Anki. It's a spaced repetition program. It's gonna help you, oh, it's on my phone that I'm live streaming now from. It's gonna help you memorize the characters. You just have to force feed yourself the characters, okay, John? There's no shortcut. So, you can decide how it works best for you. Use a flashcard app on your phone. Spaced repetition is beautiful, and all that is a funny, glorious, advanced word that I never use. That means the app knows when you don't know a character, and it makes that character show up sooner than the characters that you do know. Boom. Spaced repetition. But the flashcard way is a great way. Don't knock the flashcard way. Don't knock the flashcard way. Look at this. By the way, new discovery. I review books. I'm going to be reviewing a lot more soon. New discovery. These sat on my shelf for like since June when I first bought them. Wow. Like inside is audio for flashcards. Who's gonna listen to the audio for a flashcard? Really? But these flashcards, keyring, boom, are super nice. I can drop that link in the description below. It's not there yet. But we got character on front. If there's a traditional character, it also puts the traditional character there. And then words that character shows up in. If you search on the audio by card number, I believe, you can listen to those words and stroke order. So John, to answer your question, I still prefer the old school method of taking cards like this and putting them on a ring and just rifling through them on the bus or wherever you're at during your commute. But these flashcards almost made me fall in love again. I mean, thank God I already did the hard work and memorized characters. So I don't have to do it again. I can write characters. Somebody saw me writing when I was teaching the word bye-bye, and then it's a whiteboard, and I was writing characters on the whiteboard. And they were like, oh, you can write characters. Like, yeah, I can write characters. I could probably write like only like 800 or 900 by memory now, but I've been studying Chinese forever. Oh, and this is another resource if you need it. I'll put the link below because I don't think it's there yet because I haven't reviewed the book. But looking inside of the book, my gosh, number one thing I like about this is lots of these character books are okay, but the organization is nonsensical. You're like, why are these characters together? At least this book puts like a common phrase or a concept and then puts those characters together, right? So if I hop over here to page 77, Look, I even put my notes because I look through all these books before I review them. The characters are there. And I just like it because there's practice. Look, no shortcuts. I wrote characters way more than you want to know. It's going to disappoint you if I tell you how often I wrote characters when I was studying Chinese like full time back in university in Beijing. But I wrote them out. And I said the pinyin. And I said the pinyin with the correct pronunciation and tone. And I just kept writing. And as soon as I could, I wrote words that were on the vocabulary list from memory. And as soon as I could, I wrote chunks of sentences. And sentence from memory, I still wrote part of it while saying the tones. And I was meticulous, and you have to be. Make sure that each tone you can do right. And if you're lucky enough to be in China, speak a lot. And if Chinese people aren't standing you, or aren't understanding you, then you got to get your phrases and your tones better on point. Like, just be relentless. Don't give up, because it'll pay off. It'll pay off for sure. Let me answer some more questions, because I missed them. James, what's up? I never understood Anki. Yeah, right? Paste them on the wall. I mean, James, it's beautiful. You're creative. You're having fun. And most importantly, you know how you learn. Like, you just got to know yourself, right? You have to know thyself. And you gotta do what works best for you, right? Like, if studying, for example, I was just watching this video about focus. Powerful video by Peter Voogd, Voogd. He's an entrepreneur online. And he was talking about focus. Here's a tip. Scientifically, apparently, though I haven't verified it myself or looked at the article that he quoted, but he says scientifically, you got to study for a while or do something for a while. 23 minutes was the time that he quoted before your brain will enter the zone. And he called it peak performance. Let's call it peak learning. So make sure, whatever you do, when you're studying, you block out all distractions and at least pass the 23-minute mark. We'll just say half an hour, because 30 minutes is easy to remember. And then it's like your brain activates and you enter the learning zone. And then fight to stay in that zone as long as you can. So like, if you're like me, I turn off all notification. My phone broke. My daughter threw it on the ground. And then I dropped it on a curb. Exactly on a curb! Can you believe it? Like, this crack is super deep. Super deep. Anyway, I turn off all notifications on my cell phone. This thing is a brick, and it doesn't flash or do anything unless I want it to. And you gotta do that. Block out distractions and hit that zone for whatever you're studying, and you'll remember better. That's the trick, right? Because if you're not hitting like peak learning, so to speak, then you're wasting your time. Like, you could study 9 hours distracted, or you might be able to do 2 or 3 at peak learning. Like, I don't know the exact number, but the point is that hit that peak learning, right? Study smart, and your brain will love you for it. Also, spaced repetition is another heavily researched scientific fact. So actually, cramming sucks. It's not good for your brain. You won't remember it long term. But if you look and study something and then stop and come back to it in a few days, that is spaced repetition, and the knowledge, the Chinese, will stick with you. What that means is it's really good to read stuff. If you're good enough to read a book, read more books. That's why when I said combine those 3 factors for learning, a real person to practice with, a book, and then an online or app resource that you love that's interesting, that's why that works, actually, because of spaced repetition. I'll see the word for dog one time, and then I'll see the word for dog maybe somewhere else, and I'll see it somewhere else another day, right? You're going to use these tips. Thank you. How do you say your name? Razor? Razier? That's cool. Yeah, I'm glad these tips are helping you. Please like the video. Leave a like right now if this is helping you. And especially come back and leave a comment. All this live chat, people can see it on the replay, but comments, these don't convert to comments. So if you want to show me some real love, come back, Razier, is that French? And leave a comment on the video proper after the live stream finishes. I'm looking at the links in the descriptions. If you're on a cell phone, you got to go way down below, way down below. And I have not dropped the character book or the flashcards as a link yet, so sorry. I will though, I promise, right after I finish live streaming. And you guys are the true folks. You're here near the end. Let's see what other questions did I miss. And ask a question. I'll hang out for another 10 minutes. If you guys got questions, I will answer your questions. So, do I think in Chinese? Yes, I do. If you guys haven't, it's amazing how many people don't know, but I'm certified to teach Chinese. Just so you know, like, you can trust me. Number one, I've been in China for almost 11 years, but I actually am passionate about studying. James Cook, use Chinese Pod. I love Chinese Pod. Yeah, use it for sure. I worked in a Chinese company as a project manager in Chinese. So my sales boss had me wrangling other engineers. It was a Chinese factory producing touchscreens for cell phones. So I had to like get engineers from like manufacturing and packaging and all these different process lines and talk to them in Chinese and get them to commit to deadlines for projects and specs. That's kind of, that was tough, but I speak Chinese. Studied for 2 years in Beijing, studied for 1 year back at the University in Washington, in Seattle. I only have an HSK 5, not an HSK 6, just an HSK 5 that I got back in 2011. I missed the HSK 6 by 1 point. Can you believe that? But for you haters, I know none of you guys are haters because you're watching this late, but for haters who are like, he doesn't even have HSK 6, guess what? I took HSK when you still had to write by hand the essays. Leave a comment if you've taken an HSK. Can you type the essay now, like on HSK 5 or 6? Because I had to write it then, and that sucked. In fact, all the Chinese certification tests I did were handwritten to prove that I could write. And they show you an article, and you have to write like a 1,200 character article, I think, and then you have to write it from memory. That's fun. Excuse me, otherwise I study with tutors for like 3 years after living in China, after studying in university, and that's kind of where I get my Chinese qualifications from. I took a certification in the US of A, so I can teach Chinese in schools if I wanted to, from kindergarten to 12th grade. So enough about me, back onto you. Are there any good apps for reading in Chinese with pinyin? The apps are on this cell phone. Actually, it's gonna die. So let me pop out this microphone. The voice quality will change. Can you give a thumbs up if you can still hear me? I just popped the microphone off the phone. The apps are on my phone that I'm live streaming from. There is one Chinese app called Mag Read or something like that. Sorry, it's on my phone. So if I go to it, then it's called Mag Chinese or Mag Read. Sound is fine. Thanks, Glow. Sorry, thanks, Priscilla. I'll leave it in a comment, okay? But it's kind of cool because it scrambles Chinese phrases, right? And you can see the pinyin there and characters, and then you have to unscramble the phrase. Other Chinese, there's this manga Chinese. Let me see if this one has pinyin in here. Manga Chinese, skip that. Manga Mandarin. Let's see. Whoa, what's going on? Oh, because it's telling me about. Yeah, this one does have pinyin there. 10%. All my phones are dying. Can I just click on here? How do I get around in here? Okay, that's nice. I want to use it. X that out. Okay, cool. We go to category. I don't know. So they have these manga lessons here. Let's go to episode 9, Mr. Hippo. I actually like this app. You're kidding me. I have to log in first? Come on now. So lame. I think I've used all of my free, and so now it wants me to log in. But it's basically cartoons, and inside of the cartoon, it's like a comic, but there's Chinese inside of it. And then they have these, I wish I could show you, but I can't, because I can't even start, because they want me to log in now. Oh, okay, let's see. Did I get it? Log in first. Sorry. Manga Mandarin, okay? So sorry, Manga Mandarin. There is Pinyin in there. And then there's this other app called Word Swing. I have not used this one a ton, but it's Word Swing. Come on, phone, start up. And it's for reading apps. Somebody sent it to me, and it's not a beginner app, Word Swing. This is a more advanced one. So play the Magistrate's Gallery. Is this a game? I don't want to do a game. I want to just read. Start. Everything's so slow. I think the internet gods are out to get me. Maybe I did something bad. So it's pictures and text. Oh, the VPN's on. Let me turn it off. Now you know I use Astrill. So use Astrill if you need to live stream. Lots of VPNs won't let you live stream here. Okay, so this is the app. I'm not gonna spend time here because I haven't figured out Word Swing. Sorry. If you will allow me like 30 seconds to be super selfish, but how I support myself is right now through like my paid WeChat group where I'm bringing all the advice I have and my superpower at hearing everyday Chinese phrases and repeating them to you, so you learn just a useful language you need to like get the most out of the day-to-day situations you experience the most. Like I don't believe really in spending all your time learning a book or any time if you're doing like self-learning. Like you gotta get your tones and pronunciation down. And then like if you're here in China working, quickest way to the top is just to memorize phrases, rote memorization. I know, nobody likes that word. It's like a swear word, but rote memorize the phrases and the vocabulary words you need for the situations that you experience. They get reinforced, and then you feel good, and that good feeling carries you further. So the selfish thing was, if you're not in China and you ever need anything or a book, those links in the descriptions are like affiliate links, and like the disclaimer is Amazon shares part of the cost with me. So you still get the same price, but Amazon's like, hey, Kwadwo or Elementary Chinese, thanks for referring people. So yeah, maybe copy one of those links to your cell phone, and if you're one of like the 10% of people that ever shops online, just click on one of those links first within the first day or within a day before you get anything on Amazon, and support me in that way. I appreciate it. Now, other questions that I can answer for you guys before we finish. Razier, I'm gonna look at the other apps, because good ones for reading, and drop it. But I think it was James Cook that said Chinese pod. Honestly, you gotta pay like for good resources. And Chinese Pod is not free. It is for a 1 month trial, but Chinese Pod is excellent. Like, they've been in this game for so long. Their library is massive, and they got printable PDFs and audio and those cool Chinese podcasts, you know, with like the ding, 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 ding in the beginning. And like John and Aggie, maybe they're not on Chinese Pod now, but they were on back when I was really using it and paying for it back in like my shaman days in like 2009 through 11. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about Chinese Pod, and I'm not even part of their affiliate program, so like I don't even get paid to refer people there. It's just Chinese Pod is super good. The one thing about Chinese Pod is if you're one of those people like me who likes to dabble in everything, and like you're like, ooh, look, a pretty book, I want to buy that because the cover's so beautiful, and then you just start looking at it, and your wife is like, why can't you do anything consistently? I love her to death though. Chinese Pod might not be good for you because there's so much to do, but you might not actually study anything in depth. So maybe look for a more structured course. But honestly, you guys, like, don't be afraid to pay for stuff. I know everybody's like, what's the free thing? What's the free thing? Like, screw free, honestly. Like, if you waste your time on low quality free resources, you're wasting your time. Like, you're only gonna live once, unless you believe in like reincarnation, which I don't believe it. So you're only gonna live once, okay? Like, if you waste your time on cheap free stuff, like you might save a buck or a kwai here and there, but you're really costing yourself more money because all of your hours are finite. Like we all gonna die someday, right? And so if you have a job, which every one of us will, unless you have like a trust fund, God bless you, okay, then your hours are worth something. So think about it as if like you study something for free, you save a couple dollars, but if you didn't study something quality, which there are very few free quality resources, then you're actually costing yourself a lot more because you got to go back and relearn. Or it's going to take you longer to learn something when you could have learned it better if you just spend some money on yourself and invest in yourself with a good paid resource. So Chinese Pod is paid. I make nothing by telling you to go to Chinese Pod. Look, everybody likes Chinese Pod, and if they don't like it, they don't know what they're talking about. Oh, selfish self-promotion. My online course is paid, and it's just getting better and better. Like I'm uploading videos about day-to-day Chinese that you'll use the most here in China. So you're like, well, what if I don't live in China? Then it doesn't matter for me. No, it does matter for you because you can practice along with the audio that I put in there. I'm adding more and more audio to each lesson. So the lessons are video because I'm a video guy. And then there's transcripts and notes below the lessons where I kind of break it down. But I'm adding audio because like it hit me. I learned best by getting the audio for a textbook and reading out loud with it. So I can help you shortcut and work on your pronunciation by making super slow audio and then speeding it up a little bit and explaining the tones so you can practice your pronunciation, not just for like kind of useless book language, but for real language that's used, because that's my superpower, is hearing what Chinese people say and repeating it in the situations that I'm in every day, and people call me fluent for it. So that's my online course, speakeverydaychinese.com, and it would be an honor to teach you. And if it's not quite your method, well then I offer a 30-day refund, you know? No hard feelings. So I don't see any other questions here. You guys, it's been like 45 minutes. Let me look for another question. If there is not another question, we're gonna finish. And if there was, but I missed your question, leave a comment below, okay? And I will get to you. Forget the characters. Oh, I think I got them all. So hacking Chinese, that link is in the description. The article, like I cannot, okay, this hackingchinese.com is a free resource. Quality, but this guy, he makes his money off of other things like affiliates. He has an online course, he teaches live and does seminars. Like, here's the thing I want to leave you guys with. If you're in China and you're looking for a free WeChat group, you know that like the junk and the stickers, and plus you ask a question and people want to be like cute and not really answer you, or they're like, oh, you idiot, why are you asking that question? And you never get help, right? What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say, just pay for something. But hackingchinese.com is actually a very good free resource. Oh, why free resources usually suck? Because you start out with your passion, right? Like I could do what I do, like an online course for free, or I could make free WeChat groups, but because I'm good at what I do, people be attracted to me and I'll give you help, right? But then I'd start spending more and more time giving help. If I didn't have another way to make money, like a day job, then I would not have money to live and eat, right? So if I didn't charge you for Chinese advice and like the best advice I can give and help I can give, then I'd have to find another way to make money. And most likely that way would take up all my time. And then you'd be like, where's Kwadwo? Or where's this other free group moderator? He's not helping me. Well, it's because they gotta eat, right? And provide for their families. And so I'm kind of ranting, but so many people ask me and they're like, why is it not free? It's like, that's why it's not free, because I gotta survive, right? I don't want to be outside on the street. But hackingchinese.com is actually free because he makes his money elsewhere, and the resources there, the strategy, the value that this guy Ale Linga provides, I never met him, but it's solid value, solid value. Okay, another question. I think I saw a quick question down here. Let's see what it was, Look at my exercise ball. I am right, thanks. Great day-to-day Chinese. I'm going to look and maybe join. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Vazier. It's $8 a month, actually quite affordable. How do you like China? Sorry, so sorry, Glow. And what's it like there? Oh, jeez. Should I start kind of vlogging, like vlogging with Chinese education, like teach a phrase and vlog? I love China, honestly. But China's not super easy. It ain't Paris. And I guess what I mean is, okay, to qualify this, I've lived in Chinese tier 1 and tier 2 cities, meaning big cities that have lots of money and they're urban, okay? So like, I've lived in Beijing, I've lived in Tianjin, I've lived in Xiamen. Lots of folks with money there. It's pretty sophisticated, blah, blah, blah. I love China for the opportunity, okay? Yes, vlog. I haven't vlogged in the past because vlogging is like kind of selfish. Like, why would somebody just watch me in my normal life? But, so I'm not quite there yet. Security wise, like we all battle with insecurities, but what I could do is definitely take more videos of me in the day-to-day speaking Chinese. Subtitling takes forever. What if I just kind of like went back and forth and explained the things that needed to be explained if I kind of vlogged in Chinese and did some subtitles? I'll work on it, all right? I'll try for you. Most of my time is spent editing, by the way. That's why I don't have a ton of content. I'm looking for a video editor. So if you guys know a video editor that can speak English and Chinese and is able to do characters and subtitles, but also understands Chinese, because like I'm American and speak Chinese, like send them my way on Instagram, Elementary Chinese, and get them in touch with me. Or if you're on my email list already, because you get like those Chinese tips I send to your email, like email them. I need a video editor. I can make a lot more good content for you guys if I had a video editor, and I need one now, like yesterday. If you can edit videos, seriously, Glow. But if you know enough Chinese, look at some of the videos. I haven't done enough, honestly, because it takes time to code or to like put pinyin. But if you can understand simple phrases and drop correct pinyin, we need to talk. At any rate, China's good. There's tons of opportunity here. Like, get here if you haven't, and teach English, whatever you need to do to get in the country legally, and then you can kind of network / develop your skills. The thing I like about China is it's still like you can get a job and save loads of money. Like, if you already make good money in your home country and you can save, well then great, like blessings, you know, I'm happy for you. I was not like that. My major was linguistics, which is useful now kind of, but back then it wasn't useful. And I was like, I already loved China, so I came back to China because I already was in China in Beijing studying, and I was like, why don't I just move to China? I love it there. And I taught English since 2009, up until last June when I quit and do Chinese full time. And I was able to save tons of money doing it. Plus, like, if you're an English teacher, not so much if you're at an international school because they boo-hoo it, but if you're teaching at a Chinese school, they send like kids your way to tutor, and you charge a lot of money for tutoring. And like, I recommend you bring value in whatever you do, but if you're working by day at a Chinese school, like I taught in Chinese high school, super fun. The kids are cool. You can do some really cool lessons, but then like teaching at a Chinese high school, I think I was only working 20 hours a week. And then in the evenings, I was tutoring like 3 hours in the evenings and some on Saturdays. Like, you make a lot of money. Like, when I worked at international school, you can't tutor at international school. So, but international schools pay you a lot. So I like China because you can save a lot of money. And for me, in my heart, is Chinese. And the more Chinese I speak, the more fulfilled I am. So that just does it for me, for China. But China's hard because it's still technically a third world country. It's still developing. Even if you're in like a big city, there's just things that aren't the same in your home country, okay? And also, like, say you're from another developing country, like say you're from the continent of Africa. My dad immigrated to the US from Ghana, by the way. That's where I get my name from, Kwadwo. Though I've never set foot in Ghana, like, it's a Ghanaian name. But like, if you're black like me, let's say anyway, if you're not of Asian complexion, and we're talking like Chinese, Japanese, Korean, you know, the skin tone. I don't really need to be politically correct. Like, if you're offended, sorry, quit watching me. But you know what I mean? In China, they'll just say yellow. If you look Asian or Chinese, you're fine. But if you're not, because China is like a very homogenous society, then they'll stare at you and they'll point at you. And even in the big cosmopolitan cities like Beijing and Tianjin, I still get stared at and pointed at, and people take pictures of me all the time. Like, my Chinese friends never understand. They're like, Kwadwo, you're too sensitive. Nobody cares about like black people anymore. This is Beijing. Nope. Not true. Each day, at least like 3 times, people take pictures of me. And like if I'm on the subway, people like sneaking up their cell phone, taking pictures. Like if I stand in a line, basically if I'm not moving, somebody's taking a picture of me. Or somebody's pointing at me and saying like, hey, Ren, which means like black person in Chinese, to their kid, you know? Lest I get negative, because I really try to stay positive. That's kind of China, the give and the take. But like, if you've not been here to China, it's a good country. Don't believe like the news, and they're like, oh, you know, trade wars and communism and everything. Yeah, you know, you need a VPN here, and yeah, if you have a cheap VPN or a free one, there are many days that your VPN will not work because, you know, like Chinese censorship and monitoring the internet and all that. Like, it sucks. This live stream is not crystal clear because the VPN traffic is getting throttled. Even though I pay for a really good VPN, Astrill, by the way, they do give me a bit of affiliate money if you use them. Click on like the affiliate link in my descriptions way down below, and like they'll share some of the cost with me. Of course, you'll get the same price, but like even if you pay for a quality VPN, the internet sucks. It's slow, right? It's not as good as it could be outside in the free internet world. Like, so that's the give and take you have here in China, but hands down, like I still love this place. Like, I've been really blessed here in China, and I would recommend that you come here and stay. Don't do like a semester program if you're a student. Stay here longer, like a year at least. I've chosen to live here. I'm not leaving anytime soon. So correct with that description of China. Priscilla, you know what's up. I think that's it for me. So I'm gonna close this thing out. Come back and leave a comment. Thank you for watching, the 7 of you that are watching now. If you've been here the whole time, oh my gosh, thanks for hanging out with me. Live every Tuesday, 9 a.m. China time. Here we go, you guys. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to me yet. If you need to know what's the fastest way to learn Chinese, I did a video for that. Click or tap the screen up there. And if you want another video from elementary Chinese, that's me. Click or tap the screen down there. This is Kwadwo. Good study. Day up.